Shalom, Salam, Maranatha, peace be unto you. Welcome back to the Masoretic, the Septuagint versus the Masoretic. In this video, we're going to look at Joshua chapter 16. There are only 10 verses, so this will be a short video. In verses 1 to 2, we have the addition of unto the water. There's an omission of to the hill country. As well, Bethel is used versus Mount Bethel. Verse 3, across to the sea versus westward. Lower versus nether. Verse 4, sons versus children. Verse 5, Ataroth and Eroc versus Atarothaddar. There's an omission of Gazara as well. In verse 6, Icasmon, north of Therma, versus Michmethahº on the north side. So that's pretty different there. Thenasa and Celes versus Taanathshiloh. Okay. And then you have Macho versus Janohah, villages versus Naarath. Verse 8, to the sea versus westward. Chelcana versus the river Kanah. Termination versus goings out. And the last verse, where we also have a significant difference, we see Ephraim versus they. And then destroy versus drave, which is a continuous difference you will notice in this book. And then we have a significant difference. It's the omission of, and this is probably the focus of this video, of this chapter, in terms of differences. It says, until Pharaoh, let me read the whole verse. Ephraim did not destroy the Canaanite who dwelt in Gaza, and the Canaanite dwelt in Ephraim until this day, until Pharaoh, the king of Mizraim, went up and took it and burnt it with fire, and the Canaanites and Perizzites and the dwellers in Gaza they destroyed, and Pharaoh gave them for a dowry to his daughter. So what did Pharaoh give as a dowry? Possibly, in my opinion, the spoils. Versus, what does it say here? And serve under tribute. That is a glaring omission. Let's read in the Masoretic. They drave not out the Canaanites, talking about Ephraim and Manasseh. They drave not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gaza, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve under tribute. End of story. So the Masoretic has left out this big chunk of history where it talks about, well, the Canaanite did dwell in Gaza until Pharaoh, king of Egypt, went up and took it and eventually destroyed the inhabitants. Not just the Canaanites, but the Perizzites and those who dwelt in Gaza as well. So that's a big, glaring omission. It's important that we covered that. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for your time. Please like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Every little bit helps. If you already are a subscriber, thank you very much for your support. We're going to continue pushing on until the end of the Old Testament, the Tanakh. That's the end of the prophets. I believe that's Malachi is the last book, but after Joshua, it's going to be Judges, so we are on our way. Hopefully, we should be finished Joshua. There's only 24 chapters by the end of this month, or before the end of the month. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. May Yah bless you and make your way prosperous. Shalom, salam, peace be unto you, and Maranatha. Till next time, we will look at Joshua chapter 17.